Good morning and welcome to Odoo Live. My name is Noel, Community Manager here at Odoo San Francisco. Today I'm joined by Andrew Statz, one of our Senior Business Advisors here at Odoo San Francisco, to talk about Advanced Warehouse Management with Routes. Welcome, Andrew.
How you doing?
Doing all right. Back from a lovely vacation. Let's see. As always, we will be having a Q&A session at the end of this presentation. So if you have any questions at all during Andrew's presentation, feel free to put them in the chat, and we will get to them at the end. If you have any comments, suggestions, send them to webinars@odoo.com. And if you showed up late or want to watch this webinar again at any time, feel free to just use this link to watch this webinar whenever it is convenient for you. So let's see, with that being said, Andrew, go ahead and take it away.
All right. Hi, everyone. Thanks for taking your time out to join us today. We're going to cover Advanced Warehouse Management, or also known as Inventory Routes. First things first, I'm going to talk about our agenda today. We're going to talk about what routes are, what they're used for, and why use them. We're going to talk about how we configure routes, and talk about some of the standard ones, out-of-the-box routes that we have within Odoo. And then I'll walk you guys through 3 sample use cases of routes. So keep in mind, we're pretty much working with out-of-the-box configurations today. So if there are really technical questions, feel free to shoot them to me via email or one of your consultants. So first things first, what is a route? A route is basically a standard procedure you may use to manage your inventory within your warehouse. They're used to handle how a company receives and ships out its inventory. It can be as simple as a pick and ship, or having numerous steps along the way for quality inspections, packaging, or whatever flow a company requires. We can customize and configure these for your business with Odoo out of the box, like I'm going to show you today. And then we can do more technical routes as well through working with one of our consultants or any technical development that we have. Other question is, why do we want to use a route? So certain companies have formalized processes where inventory needs to travel through a certain process, more than simply just receiving an inventory and putting it on the shelf. You might want to receive it, do a quality check, and might have certain centers that it needs to hit before it gets stocked. Or at the same time, you might want to do a quality check or some type of packaging when you're delivering it to a client. So it's very specific to each business need. So what we're going to do today is kind of talk about some of the basic ones that we have within Odoo. And so without further ado, let's get into the database. So this is a trial database that I created for the purpose of this webinar. What I've gone ahead and done is installed some applications that I think will really kind of demonstrate the dynamic use of setting up custom inventory routes. First off, you need to have inventory, otherwise this is pointless. So what I've done here is every database you start, when you start with inventory, you're going to have your first primary warehouse. And to configure this, and what I've done is also created a second warehouse as well. And then I've enabled our dropshipping route as well. So to do this, you need to go into settings under inventory and to configure to allow this configuration. And what we do is you scroll down and you select multi-step routes, and that'll automatically select storage locations as well. And it's always good to have multi-warehouse selected as well. And then under purchase, if you want to enable something like the dropshipping route, you go to purchase and you select it there in that application. And then finally, if you want to enable routes on sales orders, you can do that through, where is it? Order specific routes right here. I'm not going to enable that today because I'm going to kind of stick to more basic functionality. This can get quite complicated, and I recommend working with one of our technical consultants to really determine if this is a good fit for you. But for the most part, what we're going to do today should cover most business operations. Okay, so let's see here. let's go back to our configure. So I already enabled a lot of these routes and stuff like that. So what we're going to do here is, now that I enabled this, if I go on configuration, you can see that we have warehouses as an option to select, we have locations, and we have routes and operations types. So if we go to routes real quick, you can see exactly what these routes look like. So I went ahead and created one for rental. There's a site I created for warehouse 2. This acts as a supply to supply products from warehouse 1. So warehouse 2, if you were to order a product, would not, it'd flow into warehouse 1 where it's supplied there, and then it pulls from warehouse 1 into warehouse 2 to supply warehouse 2. Another one is drop shipping, and then basic buy functionality, and then we have a make to order route. So let's take a look at some standard routes here, which I just showed you. And if we click on one of these, you can see where this is applicable on. So warehouse is the highest level in terms of what this route is applicable on. The next level is product categories, and then products and sales order line. So, and then here you can see what routes are composed of, basically push rules and procurement rules. So if I hit edit and I click on this, you can see exactly, you know, for this rental one, this is the push rule for product return, and we're looking at where the source location is. In this case, the source location is coming from the customer's, what we call partner is really customer location. So if they're returning this product back to us, and it's going back into our stock here in warehouse 1 stock. Now if I click on this, you can see all these kind of technical nomenclatures that we have, like WH1 is warehouse 1, and then WH1 is a further stock, and you can add more granularity if you want to say warehouse stock / shelf 1, bin 2. You could get really granular with this if you want to get really specific as to where products go. And then here in automatic moves, this is a manual operation, so it does need someone to validate this process so that it flows through. And then operation type is just basically a receipt. You can look at internal transfers, delivery orders. So, you know, a lot of this stuff can be configured, custom configured if you need to, if you have specific work routes that you need to set up. So let's save that, discard that. I'm not going to make any changes. And then procurement rules, pretty much the same thing. Now, the difference between procurement rules is versus push rules is procurement is based on who's demanding the product. So you want to set up things like, let's actually edit this. You want to look at who is demanding the product. In this case, where push rule is you're pushing that product onto the next stage. So once an action is done, you're pushing that product into whether it's going to be stocked in a warehouse or moving on to a quality checkpoint. Whereas this is procurement rules are triggered usually by sales orders, or usually that's usually what it is like a sales order or purchase to procure that product, and then pushing that product along either into fulfilling, either into stocking the inventory or pushing it through a different warehouse, or pushing it out for delivery. So that's what basic route configuration looks like. So with that said, we can get into some use cases here. So what I want to do first is I want to kind of walk you guys through the creation of a warehouse and then integration with our quality application. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go to, not purchases, I'm sorry. Go to inventory, and we go to configuration, and we go to warehouses. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a third warehouse. So I'm going to call it warehouse 3. The short name will be WH3. And then address is optional if you want to include that, but it doesn't really matter. And in this case, we have some kind of out-of-the-box configurations for quality checks. So notice this one is unload and input location, go through a quality control before being admitted into stock. So that's a 3-step route right here. And then an outgoing shipment, it can do the same thing. So pick, pack, and ship as well. So we'll select that as well. And we could set up purchases to resupply this warehouse. So That means that when we purchase a product, we can elect to have it delivered to this warehouse specifically without having to be rerouted first to another warehouse and then internally transferred or routed back to another warehouse. So we'll save that. And with that said, if we go back to our dashboard, we should have this warehouse 3 information here. So first off, we have receipt and then an internal transfer, and then for our delivery of a pick, pack, and delivery. To help you guys kind of see this in a bit better, what I recommend doing is creating a custom group here and going by warehouse. You apply that, and then you kind of have this pipeline view, which is a bit more organized instead of having them all stacked on each other. And then we could save this current view as, let's call it warehouse view. And we'll save this by default and save that. So there we go. Now let's go ahead and integrate our quality check application into our routes here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to quality control. We're going to go to control points, and we're going to create one. So this is specific to a product. So I created a quality check product earlier. So I'll say QC route. And under the operation, it's going to be under warehouse 3. So warehouse 3, it's going to be under the, we could do it at receipts, or we could do internal transfer. Realistically, it's going to be internal transfer because that's where you're going to do the quality check. So we're going to select that one. And we'll just do a basic pass-fail quality check. You can assign a team or who's ever responsible for this. We'll go ahead and save this. So let's go ahead and generate a purchase order for our quality check product. Now we go to purchases, create a quote. I'll say Dell is our vendor, and I'll select our quality check product, and let's bring in 3 of them. And it costs $25 just to have something in there. We'll go ahead and confirm this order. So we can receive the products from here, but obviously what's going to happen is your guys in the warehouses are going to receive it in real time. So over in here, warehouse 3. Oh, I forgot to do something, guys. My mistake. Let's create another one. Quality check. What I forgot to do was go into deliveries and invoices and select which warehouse it's going to. So it should be warehouse 3 receipts. So that's why it's not showing up there. So let's go back here, and once again let's receive 5 this time, just to make sure we have different orders. So save this, and we'll confirm this order. All right. So now in inventory, so warehouse 1, we have that first one that I accidentally ordered for the first 3 for the Dell here. That's where that is. But what we're going to focus on here is receipts for these warehouse, for the 5 that I just ordered for these quality checks. So we're going to receive these, we're going to validate this, and the next step is for it to move to the next quality checkpoint. So if we go back to our inventory, and the next thing here is internal transfer that needs to be done. So we'll go into our internal transfer, and this is going to be the quality control section. So first thing here, you see this quality check button here, so we're going to hit that quality check. All these quality check products look good, so we'll pass it, and then we validate it, apply that, and that's done. So let's go back into inventory dashboard here, and now we can see we still have a transfer that needs to be done because that is contingent on the quality check passing. So now its destination is warehouse 3 stock. So now we're finally moving it into stock location here, and it's already passed the quality check, so we'll validate this and apply it. Well, I guess we need to do the quality check again. So we'll do the quality check, passes again, validate it, and now it is in our stock. So if we go into our reporting for inventory, to the current inventory valuation, quality check product, we can see it's in warehouse 3, it's in stock, there's 5 on hand, none reserved, and that's pretty much how a quality check routing works. The next one that I want to talk about is resupply. So let's see here, configuration. warehouses. So warehouse 2, if we click on this warehouse 2 here, we can see that this resupplies warehouse 1. So actually, let's double check your inventory. But I have an inventory real quick for computer. So warehouse 2. Okay, so what we do is we're delivering the product to warehouse 1, and then we're resupplying it. We're resupplying warehouse 2 from warehouse 1. So what we have to do here is first we go to warehouses, and we go to warehouse 2, which I already created. If we edit this, we just need to click this warehouse 1, and that's really all you need to do, and say we're pulling this from warehouse 1. And then what we also do on top of that is we need to set up a reordering rule for that. So if we look at the reorderings we have set up, these are both for the computer products. So the first reordering rule is for our computers. We need to maintain a minimum quantity of 5 computers in our inventory. And for warehouse 2, what it pulls from is it's going to pull from location is warehouse 2 for the final place, and it procures it from warehouse 1. So what we'll do is, let's see here, products, computers. I'm going to update my quantity on hand to, so there's none in warehouse 1, and then I'm going to update my quantity to warehouse 2. I'm also going to say none. So I'm going to apply that. So there's none on hand right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run our scheduler. I'm going to run our scheduler to generate a purchase order for the computer. So I run the scheduler. And what's going on is basically we should have an order of 5 computers from Dell, which we do. So we'll confirm this order. And then we're going to bring it in. So I'm going to go back into our inventory application and bring it in. So let's see here. 2 products to receive. So it's this one, the 5 that we just brought in. We'll validate this, apply that. So now we have brought in 5 computers into warehouse 1. Now we go to inventory, and we should have delivery. We have waiting. We have 1 to receive. Okay, so now we have a delivery order that needs to be fulfilled to warehouse 2. So check availability. There's the 5 computers from warehouse 1 that we're going to send over to warehouse 2. We'll validate this, apply that. And here we go. Now we should have a receipt in warehouse 2 to receive those 5 computers. And there it is. So we validate that and apply that. So now we've just resupplied our warehouse, our second warehouse. Yeah, so that's essentially how resupplying a warehouse works. You can also do something else, which is just create an internal transfer. But the benefit of doing it with a route, you just do an internal transfer from, just creating one from one warehouse to another. But the benefit is of when you use a route like the way I just did it, is that you actually mark the receipt and you mark the delivery. So in the case that you actually need to attach like a shipping label and you're shipping it to a warehouse, maybe that's on the other side of the country, this is the way you want to do it. Whereas internal transfers, if you're just throwing 5 boxes of computers in your truck and driving it to the warehouse down the street, that may be sufficient because it marks that transfer. But if you want a more formalized process of using like a shipping integrator, using a route makes more sense. And this way you can also track, especially if you're using like UPS or something to ship it, you could see the tracking number and see where it is in transit, and know when to expect it to be delivered. And finally, we are going to do a rental configuration. So we go back to our warehouses. I'm sorry, not warehouses. Go back to our routes. We have a rental route that I created. Now, this one I had to create custom because we had to go in here because this isn't something that's out of the box. This is more of a custom process. So this is going to be based out of warehouse 1, and so when we ship it to, push rule is coming from when they return it, this is the push rule. When we ship it out, this is the procurement rule. So if we click on this, we see the action is move from another location. You can change the name as whatever you want. So ship to is fine. But procurement location is partner location customer. So this is when so you're taking it from stock here under the source location is from our stock, and we're going to send it to our customer here. We're going to move this take from stock, and there's, you could create a procurement, but it should be in our inventory. And then operation type it's going to just go out in a delivery order. So I'll discard that. And just to kind of show you how this works is this source location is coming from, from our customers, and then we're going to ship it back for the product return. We're going to ship it back into our warehouse stock and bring it in. And this is going to be a manual operation because it's not an automated step. We need to validate that we brought this product in, whether you want to inspect it for quality and make sure it's still in working order if it's a rental product. And it might be a good idea to actually add a quality check to this stage as well, but that's something we can talk about offline as well. And then in terms of operation type, we're going to look at the receipt. It's going to go back into our receipts here. So we'll save this. And basically what we're going to do is, I'm not mess with that. Let's go and generate a sale for this rental product. So I have a rental client here, and we'll add an item, and we'll say a rental product. Now, keep in mind that this product was configured to be a rental product because of the route that I set up. So, sorry, before I do that, let's just go look at this product. So when you configure a product, you can see the routes within the inventory tab under each product. So this is what we talked about earlier at the product level when you apply routes. So we have, these are some of the basic ones, right? So we have rental is configured in this one, but some other ones we could talk about is drop shipping, buy, make to order. And I'll get into those shortly after I finish this rental one. But so far we're going to configure this one as a rental product route. And that's how that's set up, and we know how we know it's going to be a rental product. So going back to orders, let's go ahead and create a sales order to rental client again for the rental product, and charge them $10 for this. Confirm the sale. Now notice once I confirm the sale, there's 2 deliveries. There's normally there's just one if it's just like a pick and pull. But if we leave sales and go into inventory, we have a delivery order here. So we have 2 to receive. So here's our rental client. That's the return that we're waiting for. That's already been generated for us. And we're not going to click that, validate that until we even ship it out to the client. So first we need to ship it out to the client and deliver this rental product that we're sending to him. So we'll validate this, apply it, and that's done. So now the product is with the client. And if we go back to our inventory, when they are ready to bring it back into us, it's going to be right here under receipts. So when they return it and they show up at our office or our warehouse and they drop off the product, we take a quick look and we go, okay, it's good working order, we validate it, and now it's back in our inventory. So that's essentially how a rental product routing would work. And finally, I want to get into just kind of showing. I want to create a product that you guys can drop ship. So let's create a quick drop shipping product and show you how that works. So drop ship product, and it's a stockable product. And then under here, we're going to set the vendor, and we'll say, let's use Dell again. It's fine. So it's $100. So Dell's going to drop ship this product for us. And I go to inventory and we go drop ship. And we save this. So let's go and sell one of these. So create test client. Drop ship, confirm the sale of this dropship product. And what happens is this should automatically create a purchase order from Dell. And here it is, our dropship product. We're going to confirm the order. that they need to send this out to, and they're going to ship it out to the vendor here, and there's a shipment that's been generated. So it's not a delivery, it's a shipment that they need to do, that they need to validate out to the client. And it's now their responsibility to attach a tracking code and validate this, and we will go ahead and validate that it's been shipped out once they notify us it's been shipped, and that's how dropshipping routing works. Let me see here. The next ones I want to wrap up with are kind of pretty much basic out of the box ones for products here. When we create a product, for example, I want to talk about make to order. This routing is always going to be in conjunction with either manufacturer or buy. Those are the only conjunctions that make to order with. So basically, you only do make to order when someone when you generate a sales order. So if someone buys a computer, then once you sell that computer, then you need to go and supply that computer from Dell or whoever your vendor is, and that's when, if you click make to order, and we'll just say MTO product, and we'll say buy, and we'll just use Dell again as our vendor, save close, I'll save this. So when we sell a product like this, when we sell this product, it'll automatically generate, it should automatically generate a purchase order from Dell here, which it did. So we confirm this order. So now we need to receive this product into our warehouse. So if we go back to our inventory application, we have a delivery order. Well, first we need to receive this product. So I think it's this one. Yep. Validate the receipt of this product, apply that. Brought it into our inventory, and then we go back out. We now have a delivery order that's ready to be fulfilled because this is a made to order purchase product. Validate that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So just to refresh you guys, you need to go into settings and you need to configure routings, and then you're going to have these different options here. Now locations also, like I mentioned earlier, you can add more granularity to locations if you want to talk about specific storage locations like bins or shelves. This is where you would do that. And operation types are they're operation types that are generated for each warehouse that we create. So as I created one of these, especially for the warehouse 3, you notice they're more than any of these other warehouses because of the way that I set up that warehouse 3, where you have a quality checkpoint within an internal transfer after you receive a product. And then also, you're going to have a pick, pack, and ship, center as well when you deliver a product out of Warehouse 3 as well. So something to take a look at and play around with. And that's pretty much it on my end. I'm going to open this up to questions.
Great, yeah. So it looks like we do have a few questions. I'm going to give people time to add any last-minute ones that they might have, and remind you all that you can send any questions that we don't get to today or of a more specific or technical nature, or even comments or feedback regarding the webinars to webinars@odoo.com, or specifically to Andrew, who is at ast@odoo.com. I would also like to remind you all that we've got tons of events happening in this country and all over the world. Just today, in fact, we are going to be in Atlanta. We've also got events happening next week in DC. Boston is a big one that's coming up, and of course Dallas and Austin later this month as well. Bay Area, we are here, and of course I haven't forgot about you, and we will be here in September. So let's see, the current one, the question that I have, one of our watchers asked, Jerther, can you show how to handle a quality check fail at reception, which then leads to the product being shipped back to the supplier?
Sure. I mean, it's that's kind of a bit more complicated, and I'd rather do that offline, but I can kind of show you. Let's see here. Let's do a sale. So we'll do test quality check product, And this is going to warehouse 3, I believe. So confirm the sale. And let's see if that worked. What am I doing? Oh, I'm sorry, a receipt, not a sale. My mistake. Purchase. So this is going to warehouse 3 from the order. Alright, so now let's go to inventory. So we're going to receive this product, we're going to bring it in, we'll validate it's come into our inventory, and then right here, internal transfer, this is where we're going to fail at the quality check. So we failed this. Now there's a quality alert, and what we can do, there's a few ways. You could trigger a quality alert here, and you could do a corrective action to say, ship back to vendor. Save that. As for actually, creating the shipping back to the vendor, that is something that we probably have to configure offline here. But so you have a transfer here that's ready. So if there's a quality alert that's been created. So like this. Yeah. I'm going to have to take that offline, actually. I'm not too sure. It's something that I think we need to configure a little bit better, more out of the box.
Yeah, no worries.
So,
yeah, so if you have, like I said, if you want to get more specific details, send Andrew an email. He'll be at ast@odoo.com. So let's see, I guess that looks...
actually, I'm sorry. There is a return functionality here that we can you can return this product here as well. And that would generate, I guess, the new validation that you need to do. But like I said, let's play with this offline.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Great. Well then, yeah. If there aren't any other questions, we will go ahead and thank you all for joining us today. Again, my name is Noel, and if you have any last-minute questions about the webinars, you can send them to webinars@odoo.com, or to get in touch with Andrew, you can email him. He is at ast@odoo.com. Let's see. One last-minute question here. Chowder Polly. Can I have multiple warehouses across various cities?
Yeah, absolutely. So under settings and warehouses, you just create as many warehouses as you want, and really the address is going to be what dictates, if your locations, like, San Francisco might be your warehouse, So we'd create that, pardon my spelling, but we create that warehouse here. You could, specify the address, contact information here, but that's going to be treated as a contact as well within Odoo. And you can make as many of these as you want.
Great. Yeah, that's kind of what I figured. All right. So I guess that's gonna do it all for us. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you found this video helpful and useful. That way we can keep making these webinars for you all. So with that being said, if there's nothing else, Andrew.
That's it. Thanks,
all right.
guys.
Thank you all very much. We'll see you all next time.
Take care.
Bye.